Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. Again, talking to Director of Athletics, Dan Kenny. Coach, now I don't want to speak for everybody here, but one of the things that I really like about Division II sports, since I've been here at a D2 school, compared to D1, is the accessibility of the players, the accessibility of the coaches, and the accessibility of administrators like yourself. I mean, if I was teaching at a D1 school, I would never get to really have the interaction with a lot of the people in athletics that I do. I mean, is this a pro for you as well? Is this one of the reasons you like D2?
There's no question that I think size and scale have a lot to do with some of those concepts you mentioned, but I've been at Pembroke 3 different times, and that's always been my big hot button, is the relationships that I have with the people, whether it's the student athletes or the people. But Division II has a lot more to offer than I think just accessibility of student athletes. One of the things is the performance of student athletes. On a national level, Division II student athletes have higher GPAs, have higher graduation rates, have higher retention rates than a Division II student body. And that's the only division where that occurs. Division I and III cannot make that claim. So I think that that's one of the neat things about Division II.
And I know you've talked about that, and you and I have both seen the statistics on this. Have you hypothesized about a reason why that's the case?
Well, I think that a lot of times, and I don't mean this to be a sacrilegious statement, but I think in Division I that sometimes there's a lot more exceptions made for student athletes to get in. On the Division III level, the same thing takes place. These are usually very, very high profile liberal art private institutions. So Division II, there's probably not as much exceptions being made. And then the student athletes are able to develop a relationship with their coach, and a lot of times, like here on our campus, a coach is also a faculty member, so I think there's a lot more just natural emphasis on academic performance on our level.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the D1 explanation I understood, but the D3 is the one that really baffled me. They don't have any athletic scholarships or anything like that. Well, let me move on. I want to talk about budget for a minute, and you and I have addressed this a couple times when you've been on the show. Budgets are being trimmed all over the state in higher education and at everything for that much. What are some of the things that UNCP Athletics is trying to do to keep everything solvent, to keep everything operational, and to make sure that people really don't see a change in how athletics is done?
I don't think that we're doing anything different than the people that own a mom and pop store or county managers or city managers are doing. It's just a real simple premise. You've got to do more with less. And that's why it's so important in college athletics that you have A's. I think that I'm really blessed that I have a lot of A performers. People that are A performers have the capacity to deliver more than what's expected. And that's really, which a lot of economics professors now refer to this new normal. And I think that that's basically what we're up against. We have to get people that are willing to chip in and do a little bit more. And like I said, I'm really blessed, and we've had some people that have done that this year.
Are you looking more into corporate sponsorships as well, like getting some billboards on the baseball wall, for example? I know that times are tough for everybody, and it might be harder now to get corporate sponsorship.
And again, I don't think that there's any difference there. If you're some type of state entity, you've got to look for outside sources of resources. And for us in athletics, external sponsorships, trying to get a higher contribution level from our alumni, those are all important. Trying to be real creative with our fundraisers, trying to make sure that they'll generate more dollars, but also give the people a real positive experience if they partake in it.
Well, speaking of that, if I may, I'd like to mention, to ask you a little bit about the Car Cash Bash and how Southeastern Regional Medical Center has sort of stepped up and taken the reins on that.
Well, we're really excited that they agreed to become our presenting sponsor, not only for this event, but we'll also have the Two Rivers Golf Tournament in the summer, later in the summer, and they're going to do that. We also have some other sponsors like WFXB, Pepsi, and all those event sponsors are going to help us generate athletic scholarship dollars.
Okay, Coach, I wanted to ask you about basketball. I know Coach Miller isn't here right now, but Ben Miller's been here 4 years, and he's really turned this program around from one that really struggled for a long time into a force to be reckoned with in the Peach Belt. And what kind of satisfaction do you take as the athletic director, as the person who hired Coach Miller, to see that kind of turnaround?
Well, every human being wants to be right on a choice, and there's no doubt that we got the right person to lead our men's basketball program, just like we have the right individuals to lead our other programs. But Ben had a tough task. I mean, the program had been down. We weren't so many years removed when we went 0 for 28, and that's a tough thing when you don't have any history. So he's done a wonderful job because of his values.
Fantastic, Coach. We wish you the Braves luck in the future, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next athletic event. We come back, we're going to talk a little baseball with Coach Paul O'Neill.